Hey everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and I just want to talk to you about the 4-0 that I had at one of my local game stores, Amuse and Games. I can remember like it was yesterday.
Fire breather or whatever. Cool. I took out my life gain and my lattice. Yes.
So I'm playing my latest list with Merfolk, Trickster, and the 4 main deck Spell Pierces instead of Curse Catchers. In round 1, I am paired up against Death and Taxes, and I have a great start where I go turn 2 Master the Pearl Trident. My opponent plays Athalia, but I play turn 3 Mara Regery. I'm able to crash in for 3 and really empty my hand on the next few turns, putting Giant Lords in play, playing Harbinger of the Tides, bouncing my opponent's stuff. They had a really clunky hand and they could not come back. In game 2, it was pretty interesting because they started off with an Ether Vial on a 1-lander, and then I got my own Ether Vial in play, but then I drew Echoing Truth, which was a bit awkward because I wanted to get my Ether Vial going. I wanted to get some value out of this, not spend my turn bouncing both of our Ether Vials. So I delayed it for a turn. My opponent was able to get their Ether Vial on 3 and put in a Blade Splicer. That's when I did Echoing Truth our vials back to our hands, and I was able to play my vial on the same turn. At this point, my opponent started playing things like Eldrazi Temple and Ghost Quarter, and just tapping out playing creatures to not invest in their Ether Vial, whereas my Ether Vials kept taking up. I was able to put more and more Lords on the table to try to combat what was going on their side, but my opponent played Eldrazi Displacer and was blinking their Blade Splicer to keep getting a token every single turn. And I sandbagged a Master of Waves in my hand because I was pretty certain with so many cards my opponent had to have some sort of removal. And I was right, because these Path to Exiles hit a few Lords, and then I knew this was time for Master of Waves. I played the Master of Waves for what was, I think, about 8 tokens, and that was enough to crack in for victory. In round 2, I played against Rodney Top 8 Thompson, who is on Jund. Now, I had a very comfortable game 1. I just played Island Pass. He played Inquisition of Kozilek. I Spell Pierced it on turn 1. He played Dark Confidant. I dismembered that Dark Confidant, and I was able to play creatures into Master of Waves and deal enough damage that Rodney could not come back. In game 2, he got a Dark Confidant on the battlefield that drew a bunch of cards, and I thought maybe I could stabilize when I played Kira Grey Glassbender, but he just played Liliana of the Veil, Edict me, and there was just no way I could come back from that. But in game 3, I put enough Lords on the table to crash in to put Rodney's life total down to 2. He then damnations the board, but it doesn't matter. I have 3 Master of Waves in hand. He could not even deal with 1 because his hand was just Kolaghan's Commands and Lightning Bolts. Master of Waves did it once again. In round 3, I'm up against Andrew, Day 2 Dryden, playing Burn. I believe he won the die roll, but it didn't matter. He was on a 2-lander, and he got stuck on those 2 lands because I spreading seized both of them, and he didn't do anything for the rest of the game.
So here we are, Monday night, Amuse and Games, and
I get a standard hand against Andrew Day 2 Dryden. Always Ether Vial into like double spreading seas.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough mana.
No, this is pretty rough. And this Harbinger just came down. This
this is on the stack, by the way.
Yeah, this Swift Spear is basically back in my hand. And in case anyone's interested in what I'm holding, yeah, that's what I'm holding right there. So Swift Spear, and away we go.
Whereas in game 2, he flooded out relatively badly.
Oh, gotcha. That's right.
Are you recording this? Is this what's happening? We're forever gonna remember this ridiculous, horrible board state. Yeah, it's pretty.
I was able to play patiently, play around Searing Blaze, and also Harbinger his Grim Lavamancer at just the right times to make sure that I would stay at a very healthy life total, very far away from ever dying. And then the last round I played against Steve Lee, who is a great local judge, and he was on Tron. He was actually on Red-Green Tron, and I was up against Natural Tron as he just curved into a worm coil engine, into another worm coil engine in game 1. However, that's all he had for threats. The rest of his hand was useless, and I was able to come back from that just playing creatures and lords and tempoing out the worm coil engines. It was enough for me to actually win the game. In game 2, I basically sided out, like, you know, all my relevant I sided out Master Waves, I sided out Dismember, but the point is my deck was really heavy on 2-drops, and then I got punished because he brought in Engineered Explosives against me, which is a card I don't almost ever see out of Red-Green Tron, but it blew up the whole board, including, like, I think 3 Spreading Seizes, which he used the blue mana to cast the Engineered Explosives. That was hilarious. So yeah, kills off all the lords, all the Spreading Seizes, and then I get Ulamogged, and after he attacked with it, I decided, okay, I'm going to scoop it up. But in game 3, I just went like Spreading Seize into another Spreading Seize while deploying creatures, had a lot of counter magic. Spell Pierce helped a lot in that game. I would not win that game with Curse Catcher, Spell Pierce counting Sylvan Scrying, and Oblivion Stone. And I had many Spell Pierces for all the non-creature spells in that deck, and I took home the victory. And for going 4-0, I won 2 boosters of Iconic Masters, and I will save these for the playmat at Fusion Gaming, where I will have them open them up and then price them out as while we're there.
We're mad at you, what?
Well, I won the whole tournament, but you know, Andrew Day 2 Dryden has a huge story to tell about his tournament.
Well, more importantly, I got second. I got second.
Oh, you got second? Oh, we got Rodney top 8 Tom. We got first, we have second, we have last place.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was drowning in mountains. I was, yeah, it was pretty horrible. Just round after round, like, okay, here's my 6th straight land drop.
Yeah.
Boy, I could really use anything else.
The great thing for me, when I drew those extra lands, I could just fucking pitch them to Collective Brutality, throw it away to Liliana. Those extra cards, no problem. I could use every one of them.
Yeah, my Pro Tour skill, like I said all the time, is fetching to deck thin. Oh, nope, top deck the land. There it is. It's
What's the deck that you want to draw land? You should just play lands.
You know what, honestly?
Honestly, sort of Seismic Assault deck.
Yeah, the Seismic Assault deck.
What's it called? Loam?
Seismic Assault. Assault.
Isn't that what it is? Assault? Loam? I think it's called Seismic Loam or something?
Yeah. It's a Loam deck.
Truth be told, I've actually thought before about playing Valakut, playing Primetime before.
Oh yeah, that deck also likes a lot of lands.
I think that deck would be my play style. I like ramp, I like big things like that. You know, I think it'd be fun, but yeah, it was brutal.
Cheap. I don't know what it is now, but I made it.
Well, the scape shifts are very expensive.
Yeah, but you know what, honestly, like this is the first local tournament I haven't made like one prizing in like 2 months. Like I really can't complain. Like,
and it's not like it's some big tournament. This is a weekly tournament with what, like 15 people in it, maybe?
Yeah,
not even.
But it's just like, I don't know, when you flood 3 games in a row, it's just like, oh my god, I'm really tired of this. But it's part of the deal, eh? It's part of the burn game, right? It's part of the burn game. Did I draw too many or too few lands?
That's the risk you take when you play burn.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You might not draw that burn.
Yeah, and I mean, like, in round 2, oh man, I've lost 2 really good matchups to Tron this week. It was brutal. Game 1, I had to mulligan down to 5. It was just, oh man. Round 2 against Nikachu.
Oh yeah. I didn't make it easy for him. No, round 3. I got paired down against you.
Right, but I draw my 7-card hand, 5 lands, and 2 Goblin Guides.
You should have kept them because I Spreading Seized them twice. And
I'm like, you know what? If I had to pick 2 cards with 5 lands, this would be them. Like, so I don't know. And yeah, and then I just got Spreading Seized into Oblivion. It was horrible. Oh my god. Anyway, well, there you go. You can't win them all. It's better lucky than good.
But you know,
lucky than good.
I wasn't lucky or good. So there.